Hi everybody, welcome back to the Like a Boss series. I'm Dr. Lauren. Hopefully you remember me by now. And today we're going to be talking about embracing technology like a boss. Now, as I said last week, learning online is going to be the new normal for a little while, whether we like it or not. But this sudden shift can bring with it a lot of issues. So last time we talked about some of the routine and organizational issues that you might be facing. So check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. And hopefully there's some tips in there that might help you to overcome some of these problems. Today, this is actually going to be quite a long video because there is a lot of content to get through. But we're going to be talking about the tech side of this. So how do we embrace online learning to make the most out of it? So how do we stay engaged and use this as a learning opportunity? We're also then going to talk about some of the software and hardware that you might need and some basic troubleshooting. And then of course, how can you get support when you need it online? So we're starting with the positives, which is thinking about how we can turn this very challenging experience into an opportunity. And that is, number one, embrace learning and engage online. So while this transition is very overwhelming, and let's not underestimate that, it's very overwhelming, it's very stressful, and it's creating a lot of challenges. What I would like you to focus on though is how these changes can also present opportunities. So why not openly embrace this as a chance to improve our digital literacies and learn more about the online world. After all, it is actually pretty likely that some of this tech and this software is going to play a role in our future lives and our future careers, not just while we're stuck in isolation. So while it might be difficult at first, I think we can use this opportunity to self-direct our learning and become more confident and independent online. So the first part of this is to treat your online classes like you would any other class. If you turn up ready to engage and participate, you'll not only intake more information, but you will feel more connected and motivated. But it's also important to make sure that we act with the same kind of professionalism and respect that we would in a physical classroom. So here's the rules on that one. Show up early, right? Get into class a couple of minutes early, having tested your microphone and your video setup, okay? Wear what you would normally wear to class. Be presentable, people. Don't show up in your pajamas. I was at the supermarket the other day and I saw more than one person in their pajamas. That is too many people at the supermarket in their pajamas. Just because we're in isolation is not an excuse to not wear pants, people, okay? Wear pants, get dressed. I talked about this last week. Next one is mute your microphone when other people are speaking, especially if you have noise in the background. It becomes very distracting when multiple people have their microphones on. But of course, turn it on when you next raise your hand. There's that little raise your hand icon in the bottom of Collaborate if that's what you're using. So before you participate, and do participate in discussions, but just make sure your tutor knows who to call on and do this so that you're not interrupting others. Next, use your real name instead of using a pseudonym or an avatar. Even if you have a pseudonym or an avatar, make sure that your real name is somewhere in that, even if it's in brackets, so that your tutor knows who you are so they can mark you off if they're keeping track of participation, but also so that everybody knows who they're talking to. If you don't have your video on, people may not recognize your name, so they might actually not figure out who you are from class, even if they've met you multiple times before. And the next one is to still make sure you're taking notes, okay? Taking notes is a really important way of staying actively engaged in class discussion. And, speak up, share your thoughts, share your ideas, just like you would in a normal classroom. And take those discussions onto Flow. There are discussion forums where we can continue these conversations and where you can remain engaged. The next part is to get social online. So just because we're physically distancing, it doesn't mean we need to socially isolate ourselves. So try to make full use of some of the software and tech available to stay connected with each other and create some positive online learning supports for yourself. So something you could do is maybe coordinate online study groups. I think this is particularly useful if you're finding it difficult to stay engaged or motivated. So enlist a team of of friends and use a platform like Microsoft Teams or Zoom or Skype or Google Hangouts or House Party or whatever works for you to discuss the week's big topic ideas, to analyze readings together, to talk about the expectations of upcoming assessment or ask each other questions, and just to generally check in with each other, share your tips for how we're all adjusting to this, your study tips, your organizational tips, and just to maintain those social connections. It's super important. Another thing that you can do is to connect with friends to practice using some of this software. So you can use practice collaborate rooms. There are some on a topic module I'm going to tell you about in a moment. Or you could use Teams or Zoom to illustrate how to do things like how do you use an online whiteboard? How do you share screens with each other? How do you share documents in OneDrive? There are so many tools that you can use to stay connected these days. So why not learn about them together? My next big tip is to check out the Learning Online Support flow page. This is the flow page I was literally just talking about. So the library have been working on a new flow topic called Learning Online to help you transition to online learning. So just follow the link that's in the show notes in the blog post. If you're watching this this video on YouTube, make sure you click on the link to get to that blog post. You can self-enroll in this topic, or you should hopefully already maybe have access, and then you'll be able to do a self-paced workshop, basically. And it will take you through some important digital skills like how to install some of the essential software that you need, how you can learn to use Flow more effectively, how to collaborate and participate effectively online, how assessment and feedback works, how to become an online problem solver, just some of this really important stuff. You can also access some of those practice tools that I was just talking about, like an online collaborate room and discussion forum where you can test out your skills in this sort of safe place. So develop your digital literacy and your knowledge of these important online tools on the Learning Online Flow topic page. Number 2 big ticket item for the week is getting set up your hardware and your software. So moving online means we will be using some software and some hardware that we might not be used to. So it also means that we will be using far more data from home than we might otherwise. So there is a few important things that we need to check before we really get stuck in. Firstly, check your data. How much data do you have? If you have a fixed internet home service provider, like if you use the NBN or ADSL, you probably have enough. If you use mobile data, however, if you're connecting to the data on your phone, you may need to check your plan to make sure that you have enough. Streaming lectures using video as well as audio, and in your collaborate sessions, if you're using video, this can use up to or more than 1 gigabyte of data per hour, okay? If you're both uploading and downloading video. So it's really important if you do have a small internet plan or if you're using mobile data, I recommend that you turn off your video in collaborate sessions, okay? Close all other browser tabs and apps that might be, using some of that bandwidth in the background. This will also help you if you're having problems with the quality of your connection too. And if you use Wi-Fi, try to be as close to the router as practical to improve the connection. So the next one is check your video and audio. So before you enter your online tutorials, check that your input settings, which is your microphone, and your output settings, which is your audio, the volume that you're hearing, check those in your system settings, and you can also check them in Collaborate. So be sure that the volume on your computer, the program, and your headset or speakers are all turned up. These can all be set to different levels and you might not realize. A headset is best for online tutorials. So if you have something like this that has both headphone and microphone capabilities, if you're using just headphones, they probably won't have a microphone in them. Anything that you have that came with your mobile phone, such as Just these boys, these will do, okay? If they came with your mobile, they probably are a headset, not headphones, which means they will have both a microphone and a headset. It is important to use a headset because that will help eliminate background noise and echo from other people who are participating online. Now, most laptops should have a dual 3.5mm headphone jack, okay? So that is this guy here, okay? If you're using a headset, that should work. It'll pick up both your headphones and your microphone if you're using a headset. Now, if you're using a desktop computer, however, the 3.5mm jack, the one that takes these plugs, okay, may not have both dual headphone and microphone support. Instead, these might actually be two separate ports. They're usually green and orange. So that means if that is the way that your desktop computer is set up, using these as a microphone won't work. You're going to have to plug them in separately, okay? And additionally, if you use Bluetooth headphones, do check that they have a microphone. You can test your input settings by plugging in your headset, go to the sound settings on your computer to select which device is connected. Once you've connected the correct device, you should see the test bar move to indicate that it's picking up sound. If you can't see your headset in the device menu, you may have a connection issue, or your headphones may not include a microphone. So I hope I haven't lost anyone yet. I know that this is a little bit confusing, but it is important to do some tech troubleshooting to make sure that everything works, especially if you have some important online dates. You can also check your settings in a practice collaborate room, such as the one that's in the Learning Online Flow page. And you can find some more troubleshooting tips on the Flow student support page. Those links are in the blog. So now let's talk about some important software that you might need. Okay, first one, Microsoft Office. You can access Microsoft 365 for free. You can use it either on your browser via Okta, or you can download the software onto your computer using a Flinders license. Now, the instructions for downloading and installing Office can be found on the student computing page. Again, the links for that are in the blog. Just scroll down to home use licenses. The next one is OneDrive. Now, OneDrive is the university's preferred cloud storage-based system, which means it will sync your documents securely across your devices, including across your computer, your phone, your tablet. I have mine on my laptop, on my phone, on my work computer, on my home desktop computer. I have it installed everywhere that I possibly can. It's really, really useful. And you get to store up to 1 terabyte of data. That is so much data. I don't know how you could fill up 1 terabyte of data with your university stuff. You can also share documents using OneDrive. So if you are working on a group project, you can have a Word document that everybody can collaborate on, which is actually super, super useful. And again, the instructions for downloading and installing that are found in the links in the blog. So make sure you check those out. Then we've got Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. Now, these specific web browsers are important for maximum compatibility, okay? So sometimes Internet Explorer or Safari don't work with all applications and websites that the university uses. Really importantly, they don't work well with Collaborate. That's a really important one. So if you've been having trouble with Collaborate, maybe it's because you're not using the right browser. So download Chrome or Firefox. There is a range of other software that you can download on the student computing website for free, including EndNote. There's antiviral software, Jabber, which is an important communication tool, NVivo, and much more. So for links and more information, check out the student computing page. Again, as you know, the links are in the blog. My last, third big topic for today is to know where to find support. So, first important one is financial support. Now, some of you may need to invest in some new equipment in order to be able to properly engage online. Now, as you may know, the university has recently increased its funding for student support, and there are a few different programs that you might be eligible for if you need financial assistance. First one is the relief payments. So the university has developed the COVID-19 student support package with $1 million in emergency support payments available through FUSA. So check out the FUSA financial advocacy page if you would like some more information about your eligibility for that one. The next one is there are and always have been, okay, this is not new, there always have been interest-free student loans. So all currently enrolled Flinders students are eligible to apply for an interest-free loan of up to $500, okay? So to make an application, you again contact Student Assist. Those links are in the blog for information about how to apply. And the last one is the new Matthew Flinders Scholarship. So the university is developing this scholarship with payments of up to $2,000 to help support the continuation of your studies. Now, this is in development, okay? So I don't have final details that I can tell you about this now, but keep an eye out for information about it on the Flinders Support Network page, the coronavirus information page, or through FUSA. Now, the next really important support place for your online needs is Flow and the library. So importantly, remember the library staff, while the library is closed, they are not, okay? The library support staff are still on hand from 9 to 5 to answer your questions about the library and about Flow. So you can contact the Flow Student Help Desk on 1300 354 633. Or you can email flow.student@flinders.edu.au, or you can use the Ask a Librarian web forum. You can also still book a librarian for one-on-one assistance via video chat if you need help navigating the online library resources. So as well as the new Learning Online Flow page that I was talking about before, it's important to also know about the Flow Student Support page. So this site also can help you learn how to navigate and understand Flow. It goes through things like how to access readings, how to download lectures, how to use Collaborate, how to set up and test your microphone, for example, how to access quizzes and more. For help with computing and software, the student computing page contains information for downloading all of that software that I was talking about earlier. And the Flow Student Help Desk is here to help you with your sort of online learning questions, and they can help with basic troubleshooting questions. However, please follow the instructions on the website first. Go online for your troubleshooting before you check in, just in case we clog up the system. Now, the Learning Lounge, also located in the library, is closed. However, it is also moved online. So you might have accessed the Learning Lounge for academic support in the past, and you still can. So book an appointment via the online Learning Lounge Flow page. Links in the blog, and at your appointed time, you can have a one-on-one Collaborate session with a learning advisor like me. I'm in there. Support is available for academic writing, maths, EndNote support, referencing, all of the things that you would normally access in the Learning Lounge have simply moved online. There are also a range of academic resources available via the Student Learning Centre Flow page, which include writing, referencing and maths guides, language assistance, and recorded lectures from the academic preparation series. And lastly, and importantly, computer labs are still available on campus. So if you don't have good internet at home, if you don't have the required tech at home at this current moment in time, again, I can only say this at the time of recording, but the computer labs are still open. So there are computer labs on Flinders Bedford Park, in Flinders Connect, in level 1 of the Student Hub, in Sturt 24/7, which is located on level 3. Those are all open during normal business hours. If you would like to access them 24/7, you just need to get your student ID card approved. So to organize this, just email a picture of your student ID card to security@flinders.edu.au with the subject line, request 24/7 access to Student Hub, or request 24/7 access to STIRT Computer Lab, and they will help you to organize this. So that's it from me for this week. I know it's been a long one. It's been a lot of information, so please do check out the actual blog because that has all of those important links. Check out those pages, particularly remember that the Online Student Hub sort of centralizes all of these resources. So if you have lost track of anything that I've been talking about, I think that's a really good place to go as your number one sort of stop because it's got links going out everywhere that you need to go. We'll be back next week to talk about managing your stress. And in the meantime, my challenge for you all is to set up an online study group. So get some friends, hang out in Zoom or Teams or whatever you choose. Maybe take a screenshot for us and post it in the Flow Finding Your Way at Flinders discussion board. Or you can post a comment to tell us how your study sessions online are going. If you're looking at us on the blog, if you're on YouTube, you can post in the comments or follow the link to find us on Ping. I know this video is going out in so many different places, it's hard to keep up. So, but either way, let's keep the conversation happening, get in touch, and I will see you next week.